Okay, well, we're getting started again. So this is now our team training. I'm so glad that people are getting on. So if you see people that aren't on yet, make sure you text them. I know I went a little bit longer, a little wordy last meeting. I was trying to get done in like 45 minutes. I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. Anyway, so I want to welcome you to obviously the team training today. This is being recorded, so we want to send this out to people if they can't make it because of the time zones. We have a lot of people in the United States that cannot because they're in the middle of their work day. Their goal is to no longer have to work a job so they can tie into these meetings, which is kind of cool. But again, make sure you get people on here because we're going to go over a lot of stuff, including some new promotions, some new things that are going on, where they were just launched today. We're going to talk about how to promote this and how to let people know about the new incentives and different things that are going on. And it's super exciting. Like I said, we just talked with Steve and Gina Merritt, just got off the phone. Mena was on the phone in South Africa. We did a three-way call with Steve and Gina. And we're talking about obviously all the new growth, all new things that are going on. Super excited about everything that's happening. And obviously it's July 21st already. It's been amazing because I've been gone for obviously I don't know, it's been like 6, 7 weeks. And so it's been pretty amazing to be able to travel that we have, to be able to impact people's lives wherever we go and take this business wherever we go, which is pretty cool. So the good part about this is that we are going to talk about today a couple different things, but those of you that don't know, I'm sure you already know this already. We're part of the greatest team in the world. We have amazing leaders. Steve and Gina Merritt, again, had started this business 3 years ago on July 1st, 2022, is that when they got started. We started September 1st. Ken and Diana Burke and actually Joyce got actually involved back in August of 22. We got involved in September 2022, and it's been a rocket ship ride ever since. And we're just getting started. So we're excited about obviously we're on the same path. This looks like my brothers and I. We just went to Rocky Mountain National Park. We were up in Teton National Park and up in Yellowstone. Basically had a 12-day trip that was absolutely amazing. And we're basically on all these different trails and different stuff and did tons of hiking. I don't even know. I'm guessing 30, 40, 50 miles of hiking that we did during that period of time. It was absolutely phenomenal. But when you follow the trail and you know where the trail is going, you know the destination is. Well, we're getting to the top of the mountain on this, and this is what we're going to talk about today. So basically, next level, we're helping other people. I love this guy. The guy at the top's up here, and the next person is helping the next person up, right? That's what we're doing. So this is strategies to accelerate. And today we're going to talk about being a team player, because this is something that's really critical. We've been talking to a lot of people about this. Steve and Gina have been talking the same thing, that the people that follow the system, that tie in the system and develop a cohesive team are the ones that's growing the fastest. So again, this is Next Level Coaching. We do have the Next Level convention coming up we're going to talk about today. But really the biggest thing is we like to dream big. And once again, our goal is to thrive in 2025. And so what the things that we're going to talk about today is, again, the year of acceleration. We want to help you accelerate, help you get to the next level. I wish that my wife was on here with me to kind of share what everything's been going on with her and stuff like that. She's going to be sharing next week, and also this Saturday. We're doing the training for Steve and Gina Merritt this Saturday. So you're going to want to share that with everybody, get them on there. But as you know, I like to have fun. So I found a video, actually, a good friend of mine, John and Marlene Clayton, sent me this video. And I'm like, yeah, this is what acceleration looks like. It's kind of fun. Watch it. Sorry, I just had to play because that's what happens when you get going, you get accelerating. It becomes a whole lot of fun. In fact, the guy who was sitting next to him was getting kind of scared, and it was like you watch the people that are on this. I just thought it was funny. Anyway, you got to learn my sense of humor. So again, obviously, this is a strategy accelerate. Being a team player, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about recognition. We're going to talk about announcements, things that are going on. Also, the new LifeWave Cash incentive that's going on this week, and I'm going to talk to you about how to promote that and how to really maximize this promotion. We've made a ton of money from these different promotions, and we're going to recommend you do the same. We're going to talk about wins for the week. I got a bunch of wins, but I'm going to have other people share if they can. And then once again, the 90-day run, we talk about Strategies to Accelerate, being a team player. We're going to talk about that as well. So the very first thing we talk about, we love recognition. Now, we've recognized some different people. Some people we haven't recognized. We're like going, who do we recognize? Who do we didn't recognize over the past couple of weeks? So we obviously didn't do next level training last week. So obviously the one 2 weeks ago, we talked about, I believe it was promotion versus announcing. We're going to talk a little bit about that today as well. But really our goal is to help people get to the manager. It's the very first step. is to help people get involved, get started, basically get registered, and then put 2 people on the right, put 2 people on the left as brand partners at the core level and above. Now you're recognized as a new manager, and that opens up the compensation plan where you can now make up to $1,500 a week. And I tell people it doesn't happen right away. I've had people that have signed up and go, "Where's my 1,500?" No. That doesn't, it's basically, that's the maximum you can make at that level. So you start at 100 and then 200, 300, starts growing and growing and growing. But as you start growing, you'll have people on your right that become manager, and some on your left become a manager. And as long as you have 3 people, I recommend a lot more, but 3 people on the right, 3 people on the left, and at least one of them is a manager on the right, one left, you become a new director. And that becomes a lot of fun because then you start making more significant money. You can make up to $2,500 a week on the binary. So again, we have some new managers. And again, some of these I may have mentioned 2 weeks ago. I don't think we did. And it's actually, I think there's a couple more. I was asking my wife for a full list. I'm trying to reach out to other people on the team saying, "Hey, can you give us some new managers?" I think we got 2 or 3 more that are hit manager that we haven't even on this list, but we'll recognize them next week. But again, Parker Timmons, which actually Greg Jones, I got a chance to meet these guys out in Illinois, just outside of St. Louis, about an hour outside of St. Louis. They're part of Josh Holdaway's team. Parker Timmons hit manager very, very quickly. Taylor Ditchfield, Stephanie helped Taylor actually go manager, and then Stephanie also helped Bernice go manager. So what's pretty amazing when you help a couple managers out there, you might imagine what happens there. But also Greg Jones, then, because he helped Parker become a manager, he wasn't even a manager himself yet. So he finally got a chance to actually sponsor some more people, and he became a manager himself. So he's already got a manager. He's now breaking another manager. He's going to be a director very, very soon. And then John Self, who's actually also on Josh Holdaway's team. Now, I know we got other people that are out here. I know my wife had mentioned somebody else, but I don't think I have them on this list. So I think we're going to recognize them next week. I apologize. We had Marla Jansen in Canada actually also hit there. And so I didn't get all the details of that, but we'll mention that person next week. So Marla, if you're on, that's fantastic. Congratulations. I'm not sure if someone's on here that knows Marla, but I will definitely recognize her next week because I didn't get a chance to put her in here because I didn't have all the details. I just want to make sure who's who. It's fun when you have people that are on your team that are breaking and hitting all these different levels and you don't even know who they are. So I got a chance to finally meet Parker and Greg. I haven't not met Taylor or Bernice or Stephanie. John Self I haven't met yet in person, so it's pretty cool. But then because of when you break a couple different managers, what happens? Brand new director. So Stephanie Ditchfield had actually hit director, and I think we recognized her a couple weeks ago, but she wasn't available to be on, and I don't think she's on today as well. I was trying to check the people. I love having my wife next to me because she can see who's on, who's not on. But again, the business is growing by leaps and bounds. We got several other people that are managers that we haven't even recognized yet, so we'll be able to recognize them because it's pretty cool how fast things happen. But that's the whole goal, is you want to help people get to these different levels because then they get to experience obviously more money and obviously a greater growth, and which becomes a lot of fun. So congratulations to all the people in manager and directors. We have a lot of people that have been signing up people. We're getting people messaging even today. We got this person signed up. Okay, can you help me get this person signed up? It's fun. It's so much fun to be a part of of a business and a growing team like we have here. So one thing we talk about recognition, the announcements really is a new cash incentive. I want to talk to you about that. Then we'll talk about wins for a week, and then once again another part. So right now, you should have gotten your email yesterday that right now, as of today, it just got started, that LifeWave is actually giving people an additional money for basically signing up the advanced and the premium. So when you sign up someone on the advanced or the premium, you make more money, but also if you upgrade anybody to the advanced or the premium, you actually make additional money. So how this works is that right now, I can do it myself all the way here, is that when you get someone on the advanced, they're going to give you an extra additional $75 for actually doing that. So what happens, instead of you making normally $75, you're now going to make $150, which is pretty cool. On the premium, they're giving you an additional $250. So if you take your calculator out and you say, okay, already I'm making $410. If I add the $250 to that, now you can make $660 by signing up someone on the premium pack this week. It's only for this week. It's between now and Sunday that you can take advantage of this. So if you're watching this later on, unfortunately, the contest ends actually on this coming Sunday, which is July, whatever date it is, 27th. So again, how this also works for upgrades is anybody who started as a starter, we don't ever sign people as starters, but someone signs up as a, I don't know if they have this, it's because the old program was a bronze. But basically, which is really kind of like a basic. So now basically, a basic or core or a silver, used to be bronze and silver, used to be the old packages. But if you help them get to advanced, they're going to give you an additional amount of money for helping those people do that. And then anybody on these different levels, if you help them upgrade to the premium, you're going to make additional money. Like I mentioned, if you have someone who basically started in the business, and they basically, even if they're in the advanced, if they go to premium, they're getting you $175 extra. If you just sign someone as a premium, you get $250. So all the thing you want to know is that the key to this, and I do tell people, and I want to make sure you understand this, and I wish I had the slide on here, like I do on the other one, but when you sign people up in these different levels, you make different bonuses. But what happens if someone signs up on the core package, right? Someone signs up the core, what happens, they've got 3 sleeves, and they might be set up also on auto ship. But what happens if they upgrade to the advanced, they get to take advantage of the lower price from a standpoint that now when they get the advanced, they get 6 sleeves. So you've already gotten 3, you pay the difference in the price and you get additional 3 sleeves. So now it's discounted to only $240 to upgrade, and you get 3 more sleeves. So what's the differential? You make it's only $80 a sleeve. So to me, that makes the most sense out of all these different things here. But you'll find people like us that say, we want the, I want to be on the premium pack. When people say, I need extra product, you want to sign them up or upgrade them to a premium. The reason I mention this because there's a strategy to do this, and you want to learn how to promote to people, about how to do this. So that's one thing we're going to talk about. Let me move this out of the way, Eric. Here we go. So one thing we want to talk about is, once again, learn how to promote versus announce. Now, an announcing is the corporation sent out an email. That's an announcement. Basic announcement saying, hey, by the way, we're running a promotion. But when you call someone on the phone and you say, by the way, I wanted to let you know there's a promotion going on, and I'd like for you to take advantage of this promotion. You've got several people that you've signed up as a core. If you find some people that want to upgrade to the advanced, now what happens, they get the product at a lower price. It's only $80 a sleeve for the next 3 sleeves. And then we can push back their auto sleeve 30 days. So they'll pay a little bit extra, but they get 1 more sleeve. But instead of paying, say, $200 for 2 sleeves, now they get 3 sleeves for only $240. Hopefully this makes sense, but the biggest part to this is that we want people to understand that you want to talk to people, make sure they're aware of this. And you can call other people, say, by the way, I noticed that you signed up on the core pack, we got you registered there, you're on 2-sleeve auto ship. They have a promotion now that if you upgrade to advanced, we can push back your auto ship basically a month from when you sign it up, and now you can get your product basically if you get 3 sleeves for only $240. So you just want to let people know about it, because that extra money could be extra money in your pocket. How many people want to make this week a winning week, right? So what we do is we learn how to promote and do that. So how do you promote? You pick up the phone. So here's my phone. So I pick up the phone and I call people specifically and ask them questions. And I'm going to mute people here. There we go. And mute. There we go. But what you want to do is you want to, and Brendan, I'm going to make you co-host again if I could. If you could help me make sure that people mute if they become unmuted, that would be great. But you want to learn how to promote versus announce. We talked about this last week, so I'd recommend going into the training we did 2 weeks ago and review that. Again, how do you promote versus announcing? Because if you just text a bunch of people, hey, there's a new promotion, guess what happens? They just kind of read it, okay, that's nice. But when you call them very excited saying, oh my goodness, I looked at, and you can go to people's back office, look at where the people are at and say, oh my gosh, you signed up 3 cores. You signed up 4 cores and you're a manager. Let's upgrade those people to advanced, and you can take advantage of the additional money. So if someone is at a core and they basically upgrade to the advanced, you make an extra $25 per one. Well, if you had 4 people doing that, that's $100. Now, some of them may say, I want to become a premium. I believe in this product now. Man, this is amazing. And if they go from a core to premium, you make $215, right? So there's 2 different lists you want to make, a list of people that you know that you want to talk to and get them registered this week, and a list of people that are already on your team that you can help them upgrade to the next level and help them upgrade other people to the next level. This creates a lot of volume very quickly, because when they run a promotion like this, it's only a week long. You've only got a week to do this, but the strategy is tonight, before you go to bed, make sure you make a list, reach out to some different people, call them, text them, say, hey, I came across a new promotion. Do you have some time to talk in the morning? I got something real important I want to talk to you about, right? And then you can share this with them, and then with your excitement and belief, explain to them how to do that. Now, if you don't quite understand this, it doesn't make sense, get me involved, get my wife involved. Possibly me, because my wife's gonna be on the plane for the next basically 24 hours as of tomorrow. So get me involved, let me talk with them, because again, we can talk to them about how to upgrade or how to sign up on these packages. So hopefully that makes sense. last thing to this is the biggest promoter has the biggest business. So when they run a promotion like this, you can say, oh yeah, they've run promotions like this before and I really never made any money. Or you can say, you know what? I'm going to make a lot of money from this. I mean, we're looking at making several $1,000s this week from just this promotion. So we recommend you doing the same. So taking advantage of the promotion as here. So again, this is the part when I open it up for other people. Once again, we always want to hear wins for the week. And again, there's a lot of things that have been going on recently. There's been a lot of amazing people that have been signing up people and getting people started and stuff like that. And we'd love to hear what's going on with you or things that you've learned. I'm going to share a couple quick things that I learned even on my trip, which is pretty amazing. I'll talk about that. But again, our to-do list is to win again, and win some more. And help people win again, and win some more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start asking anybody, because there's people that are on here that we'd love to hear maybe over the past week or two what you've actually experienced, either from a product standpoint, from a company standpoint, some different wins you've had. And Anesh, if you're available to share even what you've seen from a product standpoint, I don't know if you're available to do that. I should have set you up with that. I was going to ask you to do the testimonial, but I was running out of time on the meeting we just did. But Anesh, are you available to talk for a second just to share people what you've experienced from a product standpoint?
Absolutely, Greg. I'm very impressed with the product. I've had excellent results within the first 7 days. I've been using reading glasses over the last 2 years. I'm supposed to be using multifocal glasses, but within 7 days, I could put aside my reading glasses. I don't even know where they are these days. Then I had a back injury around about October last year, and I had to get the vertebrae reset. And unfortunately, about a month ago, I was deadlifting a pot plant, lifting it up like that and walking with it, and I slipped the disc again. Fortunately, I was already on the X39 patch, and within 3 days, all of the pain stopped. So, and over and above that, I think the most important thing, I've been on every kind of drug for insomnia over the last 15 years. Within 4 days of using the X39 patch, my insomnia is gone. I'm having dreams again. I thought Mina was joking when she said she's actually having clear dreams. I get up in the morning and now I can even remember exactly what I dreamt the previous night. So I'm overwhelmed by the success that I've had with the product, and I try and share it with people as much as possible. So I'm super excited about the future with the product.
That's amazing. What a great testimonial. Thank you for sharing that. He actually shared that when I was in South Africa, and I was sitting there going, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe all the different things. And so I know it's just going to get better and better and better. So Anesh, thank you for sharing that. We're super excited to be partnered with you. Obviously, you're going to be developing a lot of business, not only there in South Africa, but around the world. So because obviously your testimony speaks volume. So make sure you share with everybody what's been happening for you. And again, thank you so much for sharing that for today, because people do understand. I'm like going, not having readers, not having, having a back pain and sleeping much better. Those are three huge things. If you understand that, you can have just one
Absolutely.
of those. Absolutely.
Greg, I just have one more thing to share. I was very disappointed this morning because a guy that I had spoken to about the product wasn't coming on board, and I was going to call him. And 5 minutes before that, he gave me a call, and guess what? I've been using the patches for a week now. He's 75 years old, and he's been one of those big built guys, going to gym all these years. And he says, guess what? Now I can work out for an hour and a half non-stop, and my strength is a lot more than it's ever been before, although I'm 75 years old.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And that's what we hear. And we hear from people all the time. Sometimes it's days, sometimes it's weeks, sometimes it takes months for different people. But again, I've had so many people that are within the first week, they're like, I gotta let you know what's going on, which is pretty awesome. So Anesh, thank you for sharing that as well. That's fantastic.
Pleasure.
So anybody else have any other wins for the week they'd like to share? Because I'd love to share a couple things myself, but I want to open this up for anyone else. Please unmute yourself and let us know any wins for the week. Could be over the past couple weeks because we haven't did a meeting last week. So for the month of July.
So I would love to thank you, Greg, because your product presentation earlier today was so amazing. My guest for today is going to enroll as a premium as soon as he has a computer by her side.
Fantastic! Congratulations!
So thank you so much. So that's for me. That's a huge win. Like I'm gonna be manager now. So
That's
that's
awesome. And this is a great week
yes.
to do it because that promotion, that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
That,
so I'm just like over the moon and back. So I just want to acknowledge you, Greg, and your beautiful wife, Manna. I know how much you do for the team, and thank you so much for all your effort.
fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing.
Yes,
That's a
yes,
great win for this week. And so, yeah, anything we can do to help that person. Obviously, we tell people all the time that if they're interested from building a business standpoint, and they want to get that money back from a premium, we've helped people do that within the first 30 days. So again, whatever we can do to help you,
yes,
Linda, we'd love to help you out. So that is absolutely phenomenal.
yes,
Congratulations.
yes, yes. Thank you.
Fantastic. That is amazing. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. So
Yes,
yeah, so that's, and so you think about that. Imagine if you had a bunch of people on the meeting. Now, some people don't relate to me. They relate to my wife. Some people relate to other people. Some people are going, how is this guy talking this fast? I'm like, I don't talk fast. You think slow. So no, I'm just kidding. So anyway, so our whole goal with this is obviously to expose us to as many people as possible. So tying people in to the meetings, that is critical. And I'm telling you right now, we're gonna talk about next level in a few minutes, but again, those are different things that are amazing. So, but the interesting part is you can talk to people anywhere you go. And so one of the things that I did is, and I'll just tell you this right now, there's a great book of the month. In fact, let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on a second. I'm gonna stop because I was gonna share this later, but I want to share something that I did this when I was actually, because we did a lot of driving. We had about a 8-hour drive from Colorado up to northern Wyoming. And so I got a chance, I don't know if everybody's done this yet, but you can actually go right on YouTube. I recommend getting the book itself, but I didn't get the book yet. So I basically went to YouTube and there's a list of basically the actual audio book that you can actually, listen to. So I listened to the Energy Bus while we were driving. And so I was just in the backseat. One brother was driving. So I'm in the backseat listening to this. I couldn't stop listening to it. So he talks about in this book, talks about being a CEO, and he talks about chief energy officer, and he decided to become a chief energy officer, and everything changed at his work. So it's a great story. It's actually it's not a teaching, basically step one, step two, do this. It's a teaching in a story form. So they tell a whole story about, once again, a gentleman that basically had a bunch of challenges and basically having to take a bus because his car broke down. So again, you're going to want to watch this, but he talked about being the chief energy officer. So I literally, during our trip, I actually tweaked up my energy a little. My brother's like going, what are you taking? I said, I'm not taking anything. I just got a positive mental attitude. And I said, I just got a lot of, they couldn't believe how much energy I had. It was a decision to basically do that. And in that process, I met a ton of people. My brother actually, it was a little crazy, but my brother said to me, I was talking to this one gal and started talking about the patches. He goes, okay, we got to go now. We got to leave now. He goes, otherwise my brother's going to just keep on talking about this product. Later on, I talked to him. I didn't rebuke him right there, but I did talk to him. I said, hey, David, I said, this product works. And I apologize, I can't stop talking to people. She's from Columbia. She now lives in Ann Arbor. She works for University of Michigan, where I went to school. I was wearing a University of Michigan hat. So she said, go blue. And I said, go blue. How do you know Michigan? And everything else. We just started a conversation. But I said, you never know who she knows that has challenges. Who she know that has financial challenges? I said, I'd appreciate, just allow me to talk to people. I won't interrupt you in conversations, but please don't do that again, because I never know. And I really want to help people. And I my heart, I want to help people. I want to be a blessing to people. But I said, just allow me to talk to people, because I never know who this is going to help. I said, does that make sense? He goes, I'm sorry. I apologize. I won't do that again. I said, great. Now, again, if I want to say, hey, don't, it's one thing, but I just really prayed about it. I said, what can I do to basically make sure they understand? Because that's siblings, right? They're gonna mock you, they're gonna do whatever. But I didn't get a chance to talk to her about what we're doing. We just started talking about it, and then he goes, well, we're leaving now or whatever. And I was like, well, very nice meeting you, type thing. So I was very gracious. But again, if something like that's happening with your family, you might have friends that are, he's talking about the patches again, whatever it is. Just tell them, say, by the way, the person I was talking to, you never know, they might have had a family member that might have challenges. Because I was talking about the people up with Parkinson's and all these other kind of things. And so it wasn't necessarily a win for the week, but it was just basically relating to people and letting them know, say, hey guys, this is something that's changed lives around the world. I can't stop talking to people. You probably know people have challenges. If you're not talking to them, there's nothing I can do about it, but I can't stop talking to people about that. And again, the reason I mention that, because all of us come across all kinds of whatever, negative, whatever it is. And it affected me for probably about 3 minutes. And I'm like, that's it. I'm going to talk to him, and I want to talk to him at the right time. So literally, when we did finish our hike, it was an amazing hike, and we got back in the car. I said, hey guys, I just want to mention something to you real quick. So what happened back there, you know, this and this and this, and I explained to them everything, and they understood, and they were very gracious the rest of the time, which was nice, and I got a chance to meet a ton of people. So that's the part that I was going to say. So if you just relate to people and talk to them at their level, and don't be confrontive, so to say, or whatever you want to call the right word, but just again, let people know that you're out there helping people. And people that really most understand. Now, you might have knuckleheads that are friends, that, you know, family, whatever, just leave them alone. So again, you're always going to have some knuckleheads that are out there, but the point to that is that just keep moving forward. And like I said, I joke around because I was thinking to myself, I'm talking to myself going, what's your bounce back rate, Greg? How long are you going to let it? Because it bugged me. It really irritated me. I want to, like, you know, hit the guy and say, listen to me. I'm trying to help somebody here. Anyway, so, but what you do is that, you know, like I said, yeah, people are the way they are. Yeah. But meet people where they're at. And really get a chance to share with people. There we go. Let go, let God. Thank you. So, and that's what I had to do. I kept on saying, I could drag this on. I can't believe we did that. Or I could say, hey, let me confront it. Let me talk about it, and let's move on from here. So hopefully that makes sense. But that was something that I learned this because it was just, again, thank you, God, for the training that we've had and give me the right temperament to talk to my brothers the right way and stuff like that. So actually, let me stop this here. I don't know why it always does this. It kicks me out. I don't want to do that. I want to go back to where we're at. So again, but if you have other wins for the week, we'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear other things that are going on. For the sake of time, let's kind of go back to what we were talking about here. So again, we've been going through the wins for the week. And then I really want to talk to you about being a team player. I got a chance to help out one of our guys, Josh. I'm working with his team in St. Louis, and I'm basically doing a meeting for him on the third Sunday of every week, of every first Sunday of every month. So I'm basically did half the plan with him and Jesse, and then also did the training for them. And I wanted to really talk about this because the big thing that we talk about with people is, once again, being a team player, because you understand what team means, right? Together, everyone achieves more. Right? So this is something that, again, when us working together as a team, but there's little things that help gel the team, little things that make a big difference. One thing I'm talking to men about, different strategies, some different things that we can do to get more people involved with the meetings that we're doing, to get more people to teach, get more people to train, because there's a lot of wisdom that everybody here has, and we want to utilize that wisdom to basically teach people and to help people. But the system that we have, and you heard this before, that we say this all the time, that save yourself stress, time, energy, and money. You want to utilize the system. But really the biggest thing is, we're going to talk about today is duplication, edification, and determination, because this is all part of being a team player. And one of the things that we do is we want to make sure that people are duplicating the system that we have, but also learning how to edify people and build other people up. And even my wife said something to me today that I said something about a particular person, not our part of our team or anything else. And she goes, that wasn't very edifying. I'm like, ooh, thank you. Sorry, you're right. And so we need to edify and build people up. And really what edification really comes down to is building people up. We'll talk more about that. But the very first thing, again, we want to talk about is that really the team itself, as far as we have the greatest system out there, bar none, period. I mean, if you understand, Steve and Gina Merritt spoke about this on the Saturday training. They said that actually the training they just did, in fact, let me get off of here real quick. The training they just did in Atlanta, they had a lot of things they learned, a lot of things that they were doing, but the other things they talked about, we asked the corporation for the numbers of people, because they're asking people individually how much people have made so far, in the past since they got started. And the company couldn't even come up with, and they had so many people, they said it'd be pages and pages and pages and pages. People that have made over $250,000 in this business since they got started, and this is within the past 3 years. They couldn't even come up with a list, over five, they couldn't even come up with a list of people that have made, basically $500,000. They finally came with a list of people that have made over $1 million. Now think about that. Now the list is a pretty sizable list, but again, of people that they've helped make over $1 million since they started this business in less than 3 years. So when you understand a system that works and a company that works and a business that works, do you really understand the power of what we have a hold of? I believe you do, because you're on here. I believe that you understand. I think hopefully you understand the power of really what we're doing as a team. But I always tell people all the time, now this is our beliefs. We always say, Lord, open our eyes. open our hearts to what we can do more and how we can help more people. And I always ask for divine appointments. I talk about this all the time. We pray for people on a regular basis because this is how lives get changed. But most importantly, when you think about it, say, okay, what am I doing to support the team, the overall team? What can I do to support the once again, the team, this is a team. What can I do to support the people around me? If I'm tying into a Zoom meeting, am I being attentive? Am I really listening and learning of what I can learn from this meeting and apply it to the next meeting? What can I do to help people? How can I be a better promoter? What can I do to encourage other people, not only in my team, but on other people's teams that might be tying into the meeting, even with positive messages, different things and stuff like that. So one thing that we do tell people is that we put together, in-person meetings. We don't do them a lot, but when you're in person in a meeting, you get a chance to meet with people, talk with people. And the best thing you could always do is, if you have any type of in-person meeting, is always introduce yourself to other people. Hear their story, edify them. But also, when you have someone new at a meeting like that, you want to basically talk about the people that are presenting, talk about the people that are talking about this. So that's one thing we're always trying to make sure that we always make sure people know, that the people that are on our team, how amazing they are. The people that are part of This Is a Team, how amazing they are. So what we do is, when we're in person with somebody, we always want to introduce ourselves, but then we also want to introduce anybody new to the leaders. The reason we do that, and we do this via text messages, we do this via WhatsApp, we do it via three-way calls, because when someone hears somebody else, I'll use Brendan as an example. I could pick on him. I could use Anesh. I could use anybody. But as an example, is that if someone says, hey, Greg, I want to introduce you to somebody. Hey, this person either just got registered or they're looking at the business or whatever. The number one thing that my role is to do is I want to edify and build up the person who actually invited that person. So if it's Brendan, I'm going to be like, oh my goodness, you're so blessed to be working with Brendan. He is growing a huge international business. He's a tremendous leader. You want to learn from him. He's one of the best students we have, on our whole team. Whatever he says to do, you definitely want to do that. So whatever he suggests you to do, if they say, oh yeah, they had me go to the website, let me check this out and this. Yes, that's what you want to do. And so I'm going to be edifying, because all of a sudden they see Brendan in a different light. So what happens is that you're taking your belief in that person and making sure that other person knows that belief, understands that. That's part of being a part of a team. It's the same way that when you see high performance teams, I love the Springboks, right? The Springboks in South Africa. When you watch them, they are gelled as a team. You look at other teams, professional sports teams, could be soccer teams, could be whatever. They're gelled as teams because they edify each other. When someone scores a goal, they're high fiving, they're jumping all over. It's basically a way of basically gelling the team together. So we want to celebrate other people's successes, but we also want to edify people and build them up. So we're doing the meeting on Saturday. I would highly recommend tying everybody into that meeting on Saturday. Not because it's us, but it's somebody that you know us a little bit or a lot, and basically you can say, hey, we know Greg and Menno. They've been asked by Steve and Gina as leaders, as senior presidential directors, to share what they've learned, what they know on Saturday. You're definitely going to want to be on that meeting. You can even share the little quick 14-minute video we have, and I'll pull that up in a minute. Basically, a 14-minute video that we have where we share the opportunity. Whatever. I'm not saying anything about us. I'm just saying because what we do is when you introduce that person to us, we're going to edify you. We want to build you up. We want to say, hey, I'm so glad you're working with Anesh. He is crushing this business. He's growing like crazy. He's had some great results. We want to have him, basically work with you. We're all working together as a team, and we're all going to be growing together and helping as many people as possible. Again, if you know something about the individual, you can talk about the individual outside of his business. Once again, he's actually, a brilliant individual. You might want to talk with him a little bit more about what his successes that he's had in business before, but in what he's doing with this business, he's taking this business to the next level, right? And so all these different things you want to think about on how to do that. So the duplication of this, the part that we talk about duplicating, is duplicating the system. But this is one of the things that's not taught as much within the system that we're going to be teaching about even this weekend. So we're going to be talking about that because it's very, very big. We get people that have poured into our lives that have taught us how to do this. Steve and Gina Merritt are huge edifiers. They're all they do is talk about positives about other people, right? And that's what you want to be able to do. If you want to emulate the leaders that are basically growing at a huge level. So hopefully, that makes a little bit of sense. But the one thing I want to share with you real quick, on here is, once again, by utilizing the This Is It team, make sure you know the website. Make sure you know, once again, how to basically get someone started and show them how to go, go manager. We're super excited that a lot of you have become managers and are going manager. We want to help you do that. Make sure they know about the different things that are going on. The one thing that it's not on here, let me stop this real quick. Let me share it this way. And where are you at? Do it this way. Hopefully this will work okay. But I just want to make sure you understand. Not this one here. Let me move this here. There we go. This is a team. So this is a team. When you go into the website, now this is live. Hopefully everybody can see me. Why does it do that? Let me stop sharing real quick. Share again so I can see myself. There we go. So when you go into the website here, you want to make sure you know all these different parts of it. That's talking about duplication. The number one place on this whole website that I tell people right away is the links. The reason that you go to links and you do the drop down, you click on links, because it's got all the other places that people can go to. One of the most important things you do is, once again, people can go to the podcast. Once again, they got podcasts they put out once or twice a week, which is great. They got the YouTube channel link in here, the Facebook link. You want to get on the email list. This is critical. So I click on here, and you want to basically subscribe to the emails test. So you put your name in here and your email address, and now you're going to get all the emails from Steve and Gina Merritt. That's one thing you definitely want to do. Another one here is, again, when we talk about getting the school, you want to get on This Is It Team School teaching, because it's got all the information that's on the This Is It Team and a whole lot more. So they got also This Is It Info on here, This Is It Team on here. It's got, once again, even got the opportunity slide. So if you say this, I had a brand new slide that I put in today because they just updated David Schmidt's slide to say now 200 patents. I come say, when are they going to do that? And they finally did it. So I put that into my presentation today. But you can actually download the opportunity slide. So if you want to share the presentation, you want to be able to do that. So also the book of the month, like I said, I click on this, and basically now I can scan the newest book of the month. And like I said, it's the Energy Bus. What a great book. It's just a story is all it is. And it's a great story. You learn a lot from the story, and you can implement a lot of things, from that, alone. So let me go back here real quick. And then again, you've got, once again, the events that are coming up. Once again, this is a convention. It's got the link in here to that. It's got for the downloads. If you say, well, how do I print off the order forms? Where do I get the order forms? Where do I get the opportunity slides? Where do I get the sheet that we use that basically shows how to go manager, how to go director, how to go senior director? The sheet that we use specifically for our names list. So this is what the sheet that we use when we put people's names down. I contacted, 20 plus people while I was out west, and basically putting their names in here and following with all of them. Much of them are signing up, which is very, very cool. So you want to make sure you have, have several of these sheets printed. All these little things make a big difference, for you to be more productive. And that's really what we want you to do, be more productive. The part that I love about this too is that in here now they got English, they got Spanish, they got German, Italian, in Mandarin. If you want them to do Afrikaans, they'll probably do Afrikaans. So it's like all these different things. If someone said, I want it in the Swiss language, then you probably put it, in Sweden, Swedish language, and put it in here, whatever. So all these different things that you can, do here. So, but know this business, be a pro. Be a professional, learn this system. This becomes basically your training manual. And so when someone says, well, how do I contact somebody? You can say, well, in the 10-step system, basically the fifth step here is how to contact invite. And in here, it's got all these different options. They even got a video in here and a lot of different ways and scripts in here, how to contact and invite. Very simple. And again, you want to share with them how you do it. Get people on the phone, do a 3-way call and contact people and talk to people. But in here is several examples in here exactly how to contact and invite people, how to do, how to do a home launch event. How do you promote the home launch event? How do you do, once again, a Zoom invite? How do you invite someone to a Zoom? All these different things. It's all right in here. So become a pro, learn, how to do these things. This is when we're talking about duplication, because when you just say that, come up with your own script or anything, that's fine. Is it duplicatable? It can be, but if you got a system in place, you just point people to step 5, go through this, and then I'll show you kind of how I do it, and talking, a little bit more about that. So the reason I mention that is because we have so many people say, well, how do I find this? Where do I find this? I said, go to thisisitteam.com. Make sure you click on the links and you'll see all the different things in here. Well, how do I get to the Facebook page? How do I find YouTube? I'm not getting emails. Well, get on the email list, right? So all these little things, people say, well, what about the school? And again, we can do a whole separate training on the school because you got to basically register for it. And then once you're registered, now you can go to the different classrooms that have all the different things on onboarding and the training, and this is it, a 10-step system, the back office, once again, how to train, 90-day run at senior director, all these different things that are right in here. Even though they got question and answer, where people can live do question and answers, these are all the replays that are in here. So all this different information is available here, plus the calendar. This is huge. So even tonight, if you have people that are in the United States, you can say, well, tonight, which is the 21st, there's a meeting at 8 p.m. They got the YouTube link and the Zoom link, and same thing, they went 10 p.m. So if they're, say, in California or somewhere else, we got people that are getting up early from, Australia tying into these meetings, which is kind of cool. So again, you have, once again, if I use the example of the YouTube link, I can click on this one, it goes right to the YouTube link. You can copy this and send it, to people. So again, even for the Zoom link, if people are, utilize Zoom, here's the Zoom link, here's the Zoom, and copy this and send it, send it to people. Very, very simple. So these are all little tools that we want, but so these are things that you can utilize to save yourself time and be more productive. So last thing I want to share with you, and a couple different things. Let me go back to stop sharing here. Go back to a presentation. So hopefully this is making sense, but all the system is, once again, you want to be a pro, you want to understand, how this all works, everything else. We're going to open it for questions in just a minute. Here we go. And so the last part to this, and again, we talk about this, is again, is that the thing, and I mentioned this before, and I saved this slide because I want you to understand the strategies, for the 10-step system we talk about. There's certain things you need to know. You need to know the 10-step system for success. The second thing is, the systems are highly duplicatable. You want to duplicate this because imagine you having 7,000 people on your team, right? You can't teach them all at the same time. I can't pick up the phone and call everybody. Well, you get leaders that can reach leaders who can reach leaders, but if they all tie into the same system, that's what makes all the difference. Like we said, it's a learn, do, teach. You learn it, then you do it, and now you can teach it. And the best teachers, the people that want to learn the quickest, you learn as if you're teaching, right? Because if you're going to teach something, you need to know it. And so when you start teaching something, you need to know ins and outs of everything about it. And this is such a simple system. Make sure you know people's why. This is another one. So as you're talking to people, as you find out what the people's reasons are, what's their dream? What's their next dream? What's their goals? What are the things that they want to accomplish? What is their hot button? What's their burning desire? For me, the number one thing for me was to fire my job. I hate to say that, but it's true. I wanted it out of the work that I was doing. It was driving me nuts. I felt like I was wasting time. I was making less and less money, working more and more hours. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. All the stuff they want us to do. And it was just like nails on a chalkboard. I'm like, get me out of here, right? If you've ever been in an environment where it's just not good, you're like, get me out of this place. That's what I felt like with my job. After working there for 9 years, and I'm done. They're treating me as if I'm a little child. I'm a professional, not a child, and so it was just kind of funny. So anyway, that was my burning desire. So literally, when I talked about that earlier, putting all these other things on the shelf and said, I'm going to focus on this. That's it. I'm going to keep on doing my job the best I can. So when I leave, they beg me to stay, which they did. The second thing that I'm going to do is I'm basically going to work my tail off building this business so that I can get out of my job. That was my burning desire, right? Now we have a burning desire to help as many people become free as possible and also pay off debts like crazy. So we're almost debt free, and our goal is to help a lot of people become debt free, right? And there's several people on this call that we're helping them become debt free, which is a lot of fun. So once again, teach step 5. And once again, that what I talked about just there a few minutes ago, role play with people, make 3-way calls with people. I tell people, I want to talk to a bunch of people with you, because after 3, 4, 5, 10 calls, you're going to go, Greg just says the same thing over and over and over and over, because that's what I say. How I say it and how I say it is the way I say it. You can steal what I say, how I say it, and stuff like that. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But to me, the biggest part to that is that there's really 4 questions that I ask people when I talk to them. So as we're on our trail, we sat down, and we're I don't even know, a couple thousand feet above, maybe not thousand, maybe about 1,000 feet above this lake, and we're sitting here, and all these people. It's basically Inspiration Point, they call it, and actually it's overlooks Lake Jenny right in the Teton Mountains. It's beautiful. I can show you pictures. You'd be like, oh my goodness, it's stunning, and the pictures look great, but being there in person is amazing. And so as we're sitting there, a guy sits down next to me. We're sitting on all these rocks. The guy sits down next to me. He just starts having a conversation with me. I'm like, this is a divine appointment, right? And so what I said is, I said, to the guy, well, so what do you, if you know, I'm asking, where are you from? He said, oh, I'm from Boca Raton, Florida. I said, oh, I think it's Boca. I said, no kidding. I said, what are you doing here? He said, oh, we're just enjoying this. I got my time with family. It's my wife here. Here's my son and my daughter. I said, awesome. I said, great. I said, so what do you do for work? Because what do I want them to do? I'm trying to start a conversation to have him do the same thing, talk about, well, what do you do for work, right? So the best thing, if you ask somebody what do you do for work, more than likely they're gonna say, what do you do for work? But if they don't, I'm gonna tell them what I do for work, right? So he said, well, I'm retired now. He said, I'm a former, coach at high school. I was coached for like 30 years at high school. I said, fantastic. That's awesome. We work with a lot of coaches with what we do. He goes, well, what do you do? I said, well, I work with I got a stem cell activation patch. And I just kind of showed him the patch on the back of my neck. That's what I do. I didn't have one on my arm. I had it on the back of my neck. He goes, what is that? I said, it's a stem cell activation patch. His wife walks over and goes, stem cells? What are you talking about? And I said, yeah. So this actually, I had a car accident. I explained my story. I said, I had a car accident, damaged my neck, my shoulder, my back. I had a knee injury that affected my hip. I said, 2.5 years ago, I could not do this hike. It would have been impossible. I wouldn't give myself that much torture, right? And I said, so for the 3 days later, had no knee pain, no hip pain, no shoulder pain, no neck pain, no back pain. And then he goes, really? I said, yeah. And we've been able to help people with things like Parkinson's, MS, Alzheimer's, dementia, autism, all these different things. And I said, people with itises and all kinds of issues and pains and all kinds of stuff like that. She goes, my sister's got Parkinson's. She goes, does this product work? I said, yeah, it does. I said, I could give you some examples of different people that we know that's helped tremendously. We can't never guarantee anything, but I do know that this product works. I'll tell you right now, it's going to help your sister. I don't know what kind of results she's going to get. It might take days, might take weeks, it might take months. She goes, what can you send me? I said, well, here. I took out my phone. I said, do me a favor, and I opened it up to my contacts like I always do. I went to contacts, created a new contact, hit the little plus symbol, and said, do me a favor, put your name and number in there. And she grabbed my phone, she brought my information. He goes, yeah, definitely talk with her because this is gonna help her sister. He goes, I should probably be using this product. I said, yeah, we all should. I said, your son, how old is he? Well, he's 18. I said, imagine having him the same youthfulness that he has at 18 when you're your age. He goes, yeah, I should be using this product. So they're getting signed up today. So that's the coolest thing. So what's great about that, we have time later on today to basically get them registered. So what they did is I immediately went there and I went in my phone and put in the information. But again, I put in my name, Greg Warmbier, my phone number, then sent that. Then I went right to my calendar, right to my notes. And in my notes, I've got something called LifeWave X39 links. So LifeWave X39 links, I clicked on that. And what I've got it titled basically Blue Ocean. So just below the Blue Ocean, it says, I'm so glad that we were able to connect today. As promised, here is a website and videos regarding the stem cell activation patches. Please take a look at the first few short videos and the fourth video from Dr. Stillman explaining how this works. And it's got the this is it info. I look forward to a conversation. When's a good time to give you a call? Boom. That's exactly what I sent her. And I said, I'm also going to send you a quick 14-minute video because I always send people say there's a quick 14-minute video. It's got a link in there, a quick 14-minute video. And then I said, here's also the wholesale sign-up link. That's what I sent to her. I said, do you have cell phone signal? She goes, yeah. Okay, yeah, I just got it. She goes, great, thank you. That's fine. So I'll take a look at it and let's set up a time to talk in the next couple of days. That's it. So when she kept on researching and finding out more, she goes, so this helps out with like everything? I'm like, yeah. I said, I can't guarantee anything, but I said, everybody should be, even your children should be on there using those patches. It's amazing. So with that, the first question I asked them, and so when we were talking about this and that, I said, what do you know about stem cells? Because she goes, stem cells, what's it? And I said, what do you know about stem cells? She goes, well, I know this and this and this and this. And then I said, are you familiar with the stem cell activation patch? And I showed her the patch because that's what I did. And the third question, I'm sure you know some people that have some challenges, right? That's the third question I asked. This one, she just told me that her sister's got challenges. So when I start explaining some of the other things that we've seen people be helped with, then once again, set some challenges. And then I haven't talked about the opportunity yet. I'm going to. Then I'm going to say, I'm sure you probably know some people have some challenges, more people, I'd love to talk with them. But also, we became brand partners. Now you're going to be brand partner, getting the product at wholesale. I'm sure you probably know some people that also want to make some money on the side. Are you currently looking at making money besides what you're currently doing? I already know what their answer is going to be, right? Well, yes, we are. Of course we are. And if they say, well, no, we're not. Well, do you know some people who are? Yeah, we got a bunch of friends who need money, right? So those are 4 questions. What do you know about stem cells? Are you familiar with the stem cell activation patch? I'm sure you have some people that you know that have some challenges. After I tell them the challenges I had, and I explain some of the other things, she just immediately said, my sister's got Parkinson's. Do you think this would be able to help her, right? And I could tell you a dozen other ones that I had, right? And it's just having a conversation, and then really then talking about the opportunity. So the reason I mention that is because you need to have your own contact. You need to have your own story. If you don't have a story, use my story. Use someone else's story. You've seen a lot of different people that have promoted or talked about. Testimonials are out there. You want to use different testimonials. I love it that there's people that are at the highest rank of the company that have never shown a presentation. There's one gal and her husband, they've never shown a presentation in this business. And they're at senior presidential director, actually hit the elite trip and everything else. So they're the highest rank of the whole company. And the crazy part about this, she goes, no, I'm not ever going to show a presentation. She actually points people to the Zoom meetings. And then she sends people those short videos that people can watch. She said, I've got about 4 or 5 videos that I have saved that of presentations that I can share with other people so they can hear from other people. Then she says, when's a good time you're gonna be able to watch this video? You will watch it tonight? Okay, yeah, I'll watch it. Well, when you get done, shoot me a text. Are you gonna be done by like 8 o'clock tonight? Great. Well, watch it by 8 o'clock. I'll give you a call or shoot me a text when you're done, and then I'll answer some questions. She's been signing up people like this. She doesn't have to do a presentation herself. Utilize the system. Now we show plans, we do it all the time. We share other people, but we also utilize the other videos and other things like that all the time. So either you're the one basically telling them everything, or you can have other people that they hear from, that they'll hear it from someone else's perspective and they go, oh, whatever. So Linda, as an example, she might have shown the person the presentation, but then maybe from today, me talking about it just solidified, or it could be the first time. You just hear someone else's perspective, and that's really, what it is. So besides that, the last thing that I want to finish up with is basically talking about, obviously, Next Level, because this is the most critical thing that we can do, is get as many people to the Next Level convention. Again, there's the ticket options when you go to This Is a Team. They're doing a special on this right now. Basically, I don't know what the price is. Steve said they're launching that, so you want to get as many people on there. So scan this QR code. Make sure you have a virtual ticket. If you're here in the United States, make sure you have a ticket to be there in person, because I'm telling you, it's a game changer. When we went to this convention, we've been to other business conventions, we've been to all kinds of stuff, but we saw something different that we never saw before. We saw literally people becoming successful faster than we've ever seen. It wasn't something that people were talking about what they did 10 years ago, when we hit this rank, 10 years ago. No, people were hitting they had so many people going across stage at new ranks. It was amazing. But the other part to that is we got a belief level and we made a decision. People that go to Next Level are going to make a decision. Now, you yourself being there, great. But how many people do you want to have there? Some of you have set goals. You've told us goals of how many people you want to have tied into this meeting, whether it's online or in person. You want to say, okay, what was your initial goal? Well, you've got basically 2 weeks. Think about it, right? Now, basically 2 weeks to get people to this meeting, August 8th, 9th, and 10th, to really get people locked in. So it's like a 2-minute warning. If you've ever watched sports, the last 2 minutes, it's amazing what happens, especially if you the U.S. sports of hockey, of basketball, of football. The last 2-minute warning, it's like everybody, especially if the score is close, they do more in 2 minutes than they did in the first, the last half an hour, right? Because they know it's either they're going to win or they're going to lose. I'm telling you right now, what Steve Merritt said this, he said this exact same thing on Saturday. You'll hear us say it again this Saturday, and I know it's true. When the first video plays, when they first get launched, the Next Level convention, basically on August 8th, they're gonna kick it off that Friday night. When they kick off this meeting, you're gonna be sitting there going, oh my goodness, I should have promoted this better. I'm telling you that right now, it's gonna happen. You could have 50 people there, you could have 100 people, you're still gonna say, I wish I would have. We're going, we need to get everybody on our team. Every person on our team needs to be tied into this event, because the ones that go, grow. Steve Merritt said this to us just 2 hours ago. He goes, no one that's ever hit the highest rank in the company on our team, on the whole entire team, has actually, every single person has gone to the conventions. So as an example, Danny McDaniel, the last convention that they had, the Believe convention they had in Orlando, he brought a lot of people with them actually, and they said we're gonna bring as many people as possible, and they did. They brought hundreds of people to that convention. They're one of the fastest growing teams in the entire company. Literally have blown it out of the water, are approaching $100,000 a week now. It's pretty amazing if you understand the kind of money this can be made. But Lily, they understand this. And there was a couple that Lily, they said, we want to do whatever you're doing. And they said, you need to be at this convention. The wife said, I want to check this out. Everything else. She brought her husband. They own 2 different car dealerships. And Lily, her husband, was, I don't want, she goes, no, we're doing this together. You're coming with me. And when he went there and he saw these people going across stage, hitting these different levels, he goes, what the heck? And he saw one of the people that hit, I think executive, whatever, and a Zamboni driver. And he goes, okay, if a Zamboni driver, if you know what that is, they're people that clean the ice on the ice rinks here in the States. He goes, if a Zamboni driver can build at that level, he goes, we're going to do this. And literally within a couple months, they hit the highest rank within the company, senior presidential director. So that's one thing we're telling people. The reason we're mentioning this, and I could go on and on and on, is that if you're not tied into this, the 11th commandment is thou shalt not kid thyself, right? You're not going to grow like you want to. The more people you have tied into this, the more people that are plugged into this meeting, it's once a year. Once a year. The people, amount of belief, the way you're going to come out, you got 45 days to even watch it afterwards. So the dates again, we're going in earlier for the presidential summit, but people are going to be able to kick off. Basically, session 1 starts 6 p.m. Now, some of you are in South Africa or others, you're like, that's midnight our time. Well, you're going to get a 45-day recording. When we were in South Africa, they did a meeting one time that was online, and I stayed up half the night watching it because it was that important. I was so glad I couldn't sleep. I was so fired up. But again, even if you can watch the replay, but then it starts again on Saturday, and then again they have a service on Sunday that they're doing too. So again, this is at convention.com. I can't go over this enough because I want to make sure you understand that this is a key to duplication. Steve goes, you got to make sure people understand how important this event is. I mean, I think they spent $750,000 on just the production. Think about that for a second. They don't make money off of these things. They actually lose money on these things, but they know the people that go grow, and obviously they make the money in spades down the road from people growing. So this is not for them to say, hey, you only put together a convention to make a bunch of money. No, it's for the people, and they understand how to build massive teams. I mean, our team is approaching 1 million people this year. That's the goal for 1 million people. We're already over 500,000 people. We're going to be at 1 million people by the end of this year. You're going to watch the business double in 6 months. And the people who go to Next Level Convention and tie into it are the ones going to participate. So that's pretty much it that I wanted to share. So I'm going to open up for any questions. And how do you promote the thing? Let us talk to the people, because I'll talk to them about how we were directors, and literally within 3 months, now I was replacing my income. It set us free financially by going to that first event. So questions, I want to open up for the last couple of minutes here, and then we're going to pray before we get done. I can't stop talking about this. I could talk for another 10 hours about everything that's happening. It's pretty awesome. So besides that, any questions that people have of what we shared today, or anything specific that I can answer for you, because I want to value your time. I want to wrap this up in 5 minutes. Any questions or anything else that I can answer for people? And hopefully you found this helpful. You can also type in the chat if you want to. And thank you, Linda, for being so awesome. I love the comments. If not, I'm going to end in prayer. And what we're going to do is we're going to pray that God gives you basically the right words to speak to people and open up. If you got to jump off, feel free to jump off. If you don't believe like we do, we just ask people. We just pray for blessings, everyone. And that's the biggest thing that we want to do. Thank you, Brendan. And so everything we want to do is we want everybody to get to the next level. That's why we call it next level training. It's not to get people to the next level convention. Yes, that's it. But we want to help people get to become managers and directors and senior directors and executive. And trust me, freedom's available. And we want it to be for everyone. So if anybody does have any questions, anybody have any other questions? Thank you, Linda, for all the hearts. You're awesome. So, but besides that, I'm just gonna pray real quick, and then we're gonna let you guys get back to your day. So everyone bow their head real quick. So Father God, in the name of Jesus, first and foremost, we praise you, Lord. We thank you. I thank you, Lord, for everyone who's on here, and even the people that are gonna be watching this for the recording, Lord God. I'm asking, Lord. You said, if I ask, I receive. That you give us all a greater picture of what we can do and how we can impact lives around the world with this technology. This has been a gift to every single one of us. Every one of us has been a blessing. So I'm asking that you give us the right words of knowledge to speak to people as we speak to people today, this week, the rest of this month, the rest of this year, that we're going to have divine appointments, divine connections, Lord. You're going to lead people to us that are uncommon leaders, uncommon mentors, uncommon influencers, but we're asking for you to give us the right words to speak to them. to open their hearts, open their minds. Give us creative ideas, creative and witty ideas of what we can do to be a blessing to even more people. And we do ask again that you continue to bless our whole leadership, from David Schmidt all the way down to the people we're working with Stephen, Gina Merritt, and with Ken and Diana Burke, and all the other people we're working with. I ask you to bless all the leaders on the team. We ask you to bless everyone who's on here. Lead more people to us so we can be a blessing to them through you. And give us boldness. Give us courageousness to be able to talk to people and become professionals in how we can help people. So we do ask for your protection that surrounds us all like a ball of fire, and continue to bless all of us so we can continue to be a blessing. So we praise you. We thank you for this. And we're asking for the next week that we're going to have so many wins for the week, we can't even share them all. So we thank you, Father, for that. Thank you for this week being a blessed week and be able to take advantage of new promotions, everything that you blessed us with. So we praise you. We thank you for all these blessings in Jesus' name. Amen. Awesome. Love you guys. Thank you. Can't wait to see a bunch of you soon. Again, we're planning on coming back to South Africa. We're planning on making different trips to Europe. Right now, we're trying to talking to some different people about that, trying to make those arrangements, which is very, very cool. We're super excited to be partnered with you. We're super excited to be helpful. So anything we can do to help you grow, let us know. And let me know how I can help people get started and helping those people get to the next level. So Fontini, bless you. Thank you so much. Brendan, thank you. Deputy Weaver, you're awesome. Rob, you're awesome. Everybody consider, thank you so much, everyone. We want to bless you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this. We love you. We want to help you any way we can. So please don't hesitate. Reach out to us anytime we can, okay? We'll talk to you real soon. Thanks, Bobby. Thank you, guys. Bless you. Have an amazing day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.